I'll just share a little testimonial of my dad because he's very compliant. And to go for the health check, as a scientist, I like to see the reports, like give me a before and after. So he discovered that last year. He had the H. pylori infection, he has gastritis, stomach ulcer, and I was like, okay, let's just take this, just every day consistently. And March this year, he went for the repeat test. He's cleared. Like, of course, things work differently for everyone, okay? But what I'm saying is that what makes us different is that I think it was the conviction for us to make high quality, good products to help people. And like when your dad benefited from it, and then the Asian father writing you a long message to say, thank you so much. Yeah, it just struck differently. I was like, oh,
It's
it was
probably
very moving.
more price than any of the awards.
Correct. Yeah, so when I saw the thank you message, I was like, wow,
Wow,
Asian
that's
dad.
amazing.
Hello and welcome to Make It Work, the bi-weekly podcast where we uncover inspiring stories of modern working mamas in Asia who have redefined their career paths whilst putting family first.
Right. Hi, mamas. Hello and welcome to another episode of Make It Work podcast with me, Sarah Wong, your host. And before I go to introduce my very exciting guest, I want to make a quick request. If any of the content that you've watched or listened to has inspired you or helped you in any way, please like and subscribe to this channel or any way you listen to the podcast, because it really encourages me in this labor of love and it really helps with the algorithm too. So thank you. And now for our guest, Dr. Cheryl Yeo.
Hello.
So Dr. Cheryl has a PhD, she's a PhD kind of doctor. And most importantly, she is a mom of two. And very interestingly, she has started her own healthcare supplement company right here in Singapore. It's called I Am Health. And even though it's 7 years, not very old, it's already making a lot of waves. There are a lot of celebrity endorsements, there's a lot of press, and it's award-winning. And what has really encouraged me with Cheryl's story is her path out of a very stable job in working in a lab to taking on multiple side gigs to make it work, which includes being a Grab Hitch driver for a period of time. So definitely want to hear about that part of your life, Cheryl.
Sure.
To where she is today, leading this probiotics company that is impacting lots of lives, and even my own child, because I purchase and use some of the products itself. So without further ado, Dr. Cheryl.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, thanks, Cheryl. Thank you for coming on. Please tell us your story in 2 minutes or less.
Can we have 20 minutes? Okay, maybe very briefly, I started this company when my kids were under two. So they were really young, and there was a point that I decided that I need to do something, first for the family and then for myself. And I myself love to have that impact in others' life. And to me, my strength is my knowledge in nutritional supplements and how nutritional therapy can improve one's health. So I decided to take that giant leap of faith to go from a very steady, employee life to zero income in the first few years. And of course, the main motivation is for my children. Yeah, because my husband travels a lot, and my parents, my in-laws they're not here in Singapore. So we don't have that village or kampong to support us. And time to time when, like kids, right? There will be, oh, there's hand, foot, mouth disease in the school, and can you pick up your kids? I was like, in the middle of an experiment, I can't just leave, right? Or there were just too many of those incidents that made me think that, maybe it's time to do it like now or never.
Wow. Can you bring us back to that time, Cheryl, when you experienced motherhood in, I guess, a place that you didn't have a lot of your family or relatives around, because your family's mainly back in Malaysia, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How was that for you in starting your own business? Like, how did you manage?
I don't know how I managed, but I'm glad that I survived. Yeah, it is really, really tough on a hindsight. So there was this particular incident when my 1-year-old boy, back then, my number 2, he had seizure. And then we were rushed to the hospital, like NUH around like midnight. And then just myself and my little boy, my baby, and we were in the isolated small room, and we were kept there for 3 hours. He was not sleeping. I was just carrying him, and I just stood there like in a very small area for like 3 hours before we got a hospital bed. And then the next day I had an important meeting. Wow. I was like, oh, so do I take leave? But it is so sudden, right? There's no other arrangement that I can make. Or do I just stay with the kid? Or like, there's no best way to do this. But I decided that I need to make the change. And I'm sure that yeah, there can be a better way out first for the family and for myself and my future, our future.
Sounds like it was a very pivotal kind of moment in your life as a
Correct.
mom.
Yeah.
Like that really sort of sealed in your memory as,
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
that like is a place where after that things changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a process, but it was that moment that struck me. Before COVID, we don't work from home. Like most people don't get to work from home. So I was always joking with my friend, like, I work so hard so that I can work from home. And now after COVID, everyone can work from home. I mean, that's a good thing. It's just that, back then it wasn't common and we just have to be different, like do something else to make it happen, to make it work.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is something that you wish you knew before becoming a working mom?
Like these days, right, I ask, I'm just curious, like, why is it there's this working mom and nobody calls it working dad?
No, yes.
There's a working dad. Yeah, like, I mean, we go with the flow, right? I mean, if God gives us children and we are also blessed in a sense, but I feel that it has been a lot on the shoulders of women as well. The mental load is something that we don't really talk about, but it is there. Like, nobody knows what's going on. If I miss the schedule, they miss their enrichment. They miss the spelling or things here that's happening the next day. So I feel that if we can be more prepared for the mental load that is to come, or the expectation of ourselves first as a mother, and also like how people view us, I think we can better manage it. Because sometimes it's also us. Like we want to do it all. A lot of us are like overachievers. We want to do it all, but eventually it will drain us. Yeah.
Sounds like learning that's come through many years.
Many years. I feel it's many years. It's been a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you share about how you have maybe developed like some kind of systems for yourself, especially since your husband travels a lot? Like what are the support systems you have in place being a solo parent for the past, like you said, eight years or so?
That's a good question. You made me realize I have never thought about it because I think internally, like instinctively, I'm a survivor. Like I have this to-die spirit naturally, and I'm also not used to seeking help, and I'm learning to seek help. Yeah, over like after so many years, right? Last time I would, even for all their meals, for their dinner, lunch, and I would cook everything. I do the grocery. Even I have a helper, but I just don't know how to let go. Or like, okay, I know better. I know how my kids like it. I know how to make it healthier. So eventually everything is on me. So these days, I think starting from last year, I'm just looking back and then like trying to make things better. And yeah, I learned to let go. Yeah, I learned to, why not? Yeah, you can cook that plate of veggie, right? That should be fine. Or like support system could be, like, I think my helper is really important. So like, I mean, we work very closely together. So like, how about this day? Because I have a meeting, can you pick the kid up from school? And then, so I think we make arrangement along the way. And my husband, when he's around, he would also help. It's just that his schedule doesn't quite permit his, just not around.
Yeah, that's really challenging. And I really resonate with what you said about us being the limit of like not wanting to let go. As much as we talk about the burden being very burdensome, but sometimes we cling on to the burden.
Correct.
Like today, my husband was sending the kids off and I was just like thinking about all the, what is like, did he bring all the right stuff? It was raining, did he bring the umbrella? And then like, did he wear the right like pants? So I was asking him all these things after he came back, which on hindsight is very small and not necessarily important, but it's just burdensome that I choose to like not let go. So I'm ready as well.
I think the nesting instinct or like the mother instinct in us is so strong. It's so hard to let go. It was starting from like last year when my boy turned 10 years old. My boy was planning for his birthday. I did it alone, like everything alone. So, when I was like hanging the pinata, and then I almost fell from the height, but I was like, no one is here. I'm setting it up all by myself. I'm cleaning it all by myself. Like, it's been 10 years. Do I really need to do this? And if not, how do I still give my kids a happy childhood without like stressing myself out so much? Yeah. Learning to let go. Then I decided that I can let it go a bit more. In Mandarin, it's like 放过自己. We can really 放过自己. A lot of times it's us. And fathers and children, right? Actually, they will survive. They will be fine.
Yeah, maybe they won't have the best nutrition or like the socks, maybe one will not really be there. But
like, I'll come back with like less, like one missing bottle, missing water bottle, missing this and that. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you're right. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's really okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. I think it was your story about realizing after 10 years that you've been holding on to some of the things that not necessarily help you or serve you is quite a big shift, right?
Yeah.
And how you are looking at motherhood in the next decade, for example.
Teenage years will be another ballgame altogether, right? It'll be completely different. So we also need to adjust, not only for ourselves, maybe for the children as well, right? We cannot be nagging too much. Yeah. It's for the good of everyone.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the time that you left your stable job working in a lab. So Dr. Cheryl has a PhD in cellular biology and she's continued working in that field in a lab. But shortly after, because of the health scare with your child, I think you started to think differently about work. So tell us and bring us back to that time. Like it started to get the wheels in motion about thinking about leaving corporate so that you can have more freedom. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Okay, I think it is for two main reasons, right? First is for the children, for the family, for the flexibility. Another is also that deep inside, I always want to have that impact that I can make in others' life and specifically in nutrition and helping others to become more healthy. And that gives me a lot of joy and satisfaction. Like personally, when I started diving into the world of nutritional supplements and micronutrients, I helped my dad, and then like he used to have like gout, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and really with like the right nutrition and all this, his report is all clear today.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't have any of those like injection that he needed for his joints and all this ever since. And I realized, hey, I can do this, and I know so much, and I want it for more people, and that really drives me. So there are like two main parts of me that push me to do this. But you know, when we have children, we can't just leave. We can't just quit and go with zero income. So I did plan it out a little bit. Like I started taking out side hustles so that, you know, I can have some income. So what I'm getting in was about 50% of my back then salary. I decided that, okay, this is the time because I can survive on my savings for a while. And then this little amount that would help. So I feel that with family, it cannot be completely impulsive as well. So it was also like a planned thing. But when we cannot expect to be, there isn't a perfect time.
Right.
But when it is about that, you know that you can just take it and then just do it. Like, yeah, there's no perfect time for many things, right? Like getting married, having children. There's no starting business. Yeah. So I think that's when I decided to do it.
So it's quite calculated. You already were doing it whilst working full time. And then you was creating your own formulas.
Correct.
And then starting to sell them.
Correct.
Okay.
I started small. I started with just one product and then with our own savings.
Right. Wow. And this was in 2018?
2017, before I started the business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And
when I was ready, then we register.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that whole transition period with your multiple side gigs.
Yeah, it is a lot of motivational talk in my inner world. Like, I can do this. I got this. Like, yeah, I have the best product. Like, this will help so many people. So it will work. But I don't have knowledge of like marketing, business, and all this background, right? So I just did whatever I could, right? Like based on common sense. Okay, maybe I just knock on doors, you know. Hi, would you like to learn more about this? But I was never a salesperson. Like I was in research for so many years. And yeah, so it was tough. So at some point, you know, I was driving from one venue to another to knock on doors. But then I was turned down. And then I decided that, hey, maybe in between, that's when I started doing Grab Hitch. Because Grab Hitch, you can do like 2 trips per day, right? Wow. So it's not so much for the extra income, but it can offset the parking costs. I realized, you know, there are many places that don't have grace period. You drive in and now, oh, done. So I did that.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the experience?
Yeah, I think the experience was fine, but I think I got a bit upset because, you know, some of my customers gave me 4 stars. I was like, oh no, I was sincere and I drove so carefully and I cleaned the car for you and you gave me a 4 stars. And then I got a bit like, oh no. Like I've gotten so many rejections in a day already. I cannot take that. I mean, it's just me.
Oh wait, yeah, that's true. You've gotten
because the whole day were like rejections. No. And then like you were trying to have a good conversation with your 2 Grab Hitch rides, right? And then they were like, oh, 4 stars. I mean, most of the time 5 stars. Then when they were like few 4 stars, I was like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm like, no, I cannot.
Oh, you make me think twice about my ragings now. So I give the drivers.
So I mean, for me now, right, as long as it's pleasant, I'll just give 5 stars because you make someone's day.
Yeah.
We can all be a bit more gracious
Yeah.
and like, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm all for making the society like a more like loving and gracious like us place for everyone.
So you didn't let pride get in the way. You were a PhD holder driving a Grab Hitch, trying to make ends meet, trying to make it work for this period of time when you were transitioning into starting your business, establishing it. So this was 2018, right? About there?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And so tell us about your business, your company, Probiotics. What are some misconceptions? What's the biggest misconception that people have?
Okay, I would feel that the biggest misconception is most people assume that probiotic is for people with tummy trouble. If I have constipation, if I have food poisoning or diarrhea, that's when I go for probiotics. But with research advances, we know that 99% of gene expression in us come from the microbiome. Like we are literally just 1% human. Yeah, and if let's say there is this dysregulation in our microbiome, that's when there'll be a lot of health issues. Because it is even true to say that 90% of diseases come from a poor gut health or a leaky gut. Like it started with a poor gut health. So I think moving, like if we look at the research studies today, clinical studies, we know that they can be very specific strains that are meant to support different health function. That's when we have products for like more specific benefit. For example, like there's one for stomach infection, there's one to manage allergies, eczemas, and we have a lot of very good testimonials on that in Singapore especially. And then we have one from Spain that helps with metabolism. And we have a female health product coming up as well. And from the clinical studies, from our own research studies, and from our customer testimonials, we know that probiotic is so much more. And we really can't wait to, even though we are not the fastest, to really like have that quality products for our customers, ourselves, and our loved ones to benefit from it.
What makes I'm Health Probiotics like different from the rest?
I think it's really like from the heart. It's from the conviction. Like what I shared earlier on, right? It's like we want the product to work. We want the best for so many people. Like even ourselves, we want something that we will want to take every day and let our loved one take it. So one other example is that the blue color probiotic, we call it Vicopil. It is a strain that we got it from like a Germany company, and then they did a lot of research on like how it can reduce the stomach infection that is so common in Asians because we share food. So there's this bed bug called Helicobacter pylori, and almost half the world population has it in their stomach, but over 80% no symptom. So when there's no symptom, you don't know you have it, and you can pass it on. You may pass it to the people around you, and they have symptoms. And that is one of the, like according to WHO, that is a leading cause for stomach cancer, right? So it's so common, and there are so many people who have it, but we don't know what to do with it. But if we were to go for antibiotic treatment, it can be a bit harsh for children or elderly. So that's when we have that probiotic to help to minimize and lower the bacterial load. And I'll just share a little testimonial again. It's again my dad, because he's very compliant and to go for the health check. And as a scientist, I like to see the reports, like give me a before and after. So he discovered that last year. And then he had the H. pylori infection, he has gastritis, stomach ulcer, and I was like, okay, let's just take this, just every day consistently. So he has been doing that, and then March this year, he went for the repeat test. He's cleared. Like, of course, things work differently for everyone, okay? But what I'm saying is that, what makes us different is that I think it was the conviction for us to make high quality, good products to help people. And like when your dad, benefited from it, and then the Asian father writing you a long message to say, thank you so much. And then it just struck differently. I was like, oh, it was very moving.
More prize than any of the awards.
Correct. Yeah, I was. To me, that was a lot more meaningful.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I saw the thank you message, I was like, wow, Asian dad.
Yeah, wow.
It's really tough. And I was like, Asian daughter, right? Yeah, you're welcome. But inside me, I was like, oh, like, what else can I say?
Print it out and bring it.
Correct. I have to do a screenshot.
Yeah. I'm curious, actually, this is a bit off the script, but I'm curious if that is, your products are tailored in any way to the Asian microbiome?
I would say that all the products, right, when it's probiotic products, the dosage used is clinically tested to work. So like we make sure that they are optimal dosage. Apart from the probiotic, let's say we look at the Vicome for weight management, I added in like vitamin B complex, vitamin D, zinc, and also like alpha lipoic acid. And that part is also tailored for our like Asian needs, because it is very common for even in Singaporeans to be deficient in vitamin D. As long as we put on sunscreen, or like nobody walk under the sun around noon, right? And then about 76% of Singaporeans are deficient in vitamin D. So, but when we have low vitamin D, that's when we can have like abdominal obesity and like lowered immunity and many other health issues, including bone and heart. So like in a metabolic health product, so apart from like supporting the weight management, I wanted to support the metabolic health, because it's at the end of the day, it's not like, oh, I'm losing 3 kg in like a super short period of time. That's a bit scary. Yeah, so I want it to be sustainable, like something you can turn to manage your weight without worrying that it will have some side effect on your health. Something that you can take and then feel healthier along the way. So that part was tailored to like Asian needs. And vitamin B deficiency is also very common in Singaporeans and Asians.
Okay, vitamin B.
B complex.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that you are actually increasing kind of like these additional supplements in the main micronutrients
correct,
in the
correct.
main.
To complement the benefit that we are claiming or we are sharing about.
Wow. I feel like we've also covered about how your scientific background has really supported your work in this and how you created it, right? So how about in learning in your business side, right? You have all the science and all the research, you know how to create this, but how do you actually start selling it? That's the story.
Yeah, back to that crazy early days. I think we were just very passionate, but not knowing that it's not so simple. We just like, yeah, it's just that I can do it and they are so good and it'll be fine. But I really don't know about marketing. I'm so bad.
And I want to ask, like, who was involved in your business in the early days?
I have my sister in the picture, and she's also a very talented lady, and like, but she has her own career. So so I have a very small team when we first started. None of us really know business. So it was very much organic growth. The turning point was when there was this celebrity. Her name is Tracy Lee. She's a single mom, and the boy was around 1 year old. 1 or 2, I can't remember exactly. I think toddler, when he had very bad flare-ups. He had very bad eczema, and like he was seeing doctors, like 7 doctors in a week. But then, it wasn't getting better in a sense. So like a friend recommended, like, hey, you are seeking solution, right? If let's say this would help and this is not medicine and there's no side effect, why not let your boy try it? So I met her, I passed her some Vicosa, and then the boy, within weeks, less than a month, he saw very good improvement. So we have all the before, after. I mean, like, he saw so much improvement, and this is what drives us, right? And then without asking, she was so kind. She shared it on her social media.
Wow.
And it went like, like one day, we were having dinner at home. Oh, wow, there's so many orders coming in. And then she tagged our Instagram account. And back then, we only had like 1 or 2 posts. We were not active. We were just very passive about things. We were not aggressive people. So it's like, oh, there are a lot of followers. Like, people are following us and there's nothing. So let's just do something about it. So on that day, that was the day that we posted the most. And then so then that's when we started having, people trying out our products. And then ever since then, it was still a lot of like organic growth, word of mouth. Yeah. And I think I shared with you, recently we are like seriously looking into marketing. And then the lady in charge of our marketing, she was like, Cheryl, I can't believe you. She checked the meta ads kind of thing, like over 7 years. You know how much we spent? $155.
Yeah.
Over 7 years. I was like,
Wow.
is that right? Yeah. So I think it's also grace. Yeah, God's grace. And
Wow.
we are. Yeah.
Wow. So you only spent
Really a
$30
faith journey.
a year for the past 7 years, and now your company is over $1 million in revenue, GST registered.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I don't know how it happens. It was, yeah. I think that was never our goal. Like, to be honest, like, I need it to be sustainable for my family, but like, how much do I make? I'm not a numbers person. Yeah. And it was just a product of like, a result of trying to do good work. Yeah. That just come.
Yeah. Wow, that's really
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So this was in
2023.
2023
Yeah,
when
correct. Then we hit
were
the-
GST registered.
correct.
Wow. And you started out with the intention of having better control and balance with your schedule. How has that worked out?
still on that balancing, like it's never easy. It's we are always not there yet, right? So it's okay. It's not the end. It's not there. We are not there yet. Still trying. And I realized that as my kids grow older, it is okay for them as well that we let go because they like to see us in action. And they're proud of us.
Yeah.
So like last week, I was busy out all day making a video with another fellow
Celebrity.
like we would all know her.
You can say.
Yeah, I was making video with Fan Wong.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a milestone. I felt so privileged. But okay, so anyway, like I was busy. But then I realized my kids could go to bed on their own. I didn't need to sit in a dark room for an hour. They could do it. My helper was like, hey, actually they are easier when you're not around. So I mean, they are okay, they are capable. Like it's also us of like whether we want to let go. Of course we must, be there for them, try to accompany them. But then like when we can't do it, it is also fine. Like it's not a prolonged period. And it's actually good for all parties to also value and cherish the time that we have when things are slower.
Curious, do you involve your kids with your business in any way?
That's a good question. Early days was so tough, right? It was when, I do get them to help sometimes. We couldn't even like engage like a fulfillment provider back then. So I would get them to help, to pack the parcel in the early day, in like the first year. And and they find pride in it. And then or like when we are moving the storage area, they'll be pushing the cart and then like trying to load things or when we participate in fairs, we do participate in some mummy fairs like Mummy's Market or like Mother Care Fair for a couple of times. They'll be there to help set up. Or like I'll be like, hey, how about this? Can you distribute flyers? And they do it with so much pride. It's like, it's my mommy's business. It's my family thing. I'll help out. And you can see that there's this sparkle in their eyes.
Actually, you bring back a memory that I have of my childhood that I didn't realize I had. But I remember helping with my dad's like business before as well, like packing corporate gifts. And they were doing like little, I think, SIA like toys or something like that. And I just remember feeling so proud of myself. I mean, I was in primary school and like being able to help or contribute.
Right.
Yeah. It was small. I know we probably made more mess than we have, but like it was significant. I remember, So your kids will remember.
Yes,
They'll remember
yes.
these, so very fondly.
Yes, they take pride in it.
Okay, so you faced a lot of challenges, obviously at the start, the rejection, having to do whatever to make it work. How did that experience lead you to finally, be where you are? What do you learn from it?
What did I learn from it? So much. I heard of this saying that goes like, we learn nothing from success, but everything from failure. And I agree with it. It's like, we don't need someone to teach us how to feel proud about our, achievements, right? But we learn so much from failures, even when things are not going our way, when you are feeling it, when you feel you are not good enough, or, all sort of negative thoughts, right? But still be secure in who we truly are, our identity, and to thrive in it, to hang on to it, and to have that resilience to move on. Yeah, I think that's one of the really big take home over time.
Do you say that being very positive and having, I guess, like optimistic worldview helps? Like if you face a challenge, you'd be like, oh, we definitely can.
Okay.
You won't risk ever.
Okay. I don't think I am very, very positive, but I have learned to be very, very resilient, right? Like, you can feel down, but the next day I wake up, I'll give my best.
Right.
Again. Like, I'll just pick myself up.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure your kids see that.
Yeah, it's not a one-time thing anyway. Like we will swing from one side to another. It's like motherhood, right? There'll be times when you enjoy it so much. There'll be times when you just want to be alone. Right.
Yeah. So maybe you can share just in reflection, right? What are some pieces of advice you would offer to other working moms trying to manage to juggle, and then entrepreneurs who also have families that they're trying to make ends meet for?
I think we give our best, but don't be too harsh on ourselves. Like there'll be different seasons in life. Like there'll be a period of time where your family needs you more. Then you have to do that balancing act. There'll be times when your kids are a little older and you can go maybe more like all out for your career. Then you do that act again. So it's never one end to the other end, but in between, how do you balance it? And yeah, yesterday I was just talking to this friend who is like 5 years younger than me, her kids are like 2 or 3. I was like, just enjoy your season. It's okay. It's tough enough to have toddlers at home. Sometimes the career has to take a backseat for that season, and that's fine. Like, we can be ambitious, we can go all out, but also manage our own expectation. Yeah, don't be our biggest enemy. Yeah, cheer ourselves up.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. To be our biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, because our cheerleader.
The biggest enemy. Yeah.
Correct.
As we wrap up, Cheryl, what do you hope for your kids to learn from you as they see you juggle work and motherhood and largely solo parenting?
I think I mentioned a few times in the podcast, I think resilience is very important. Don't be afraid to fail, but you will regret if you don't even try. So I hope they have that wisdom, they have that inner strength to be resilient in life, Like, if you have tried hard enough and it's not your conviction to do a certain thing, don't be afraid to quit as well. Like, you don't have to stick true. Like, why I'm sticking it, true out, because I know this is what I want to do and I can make it work. But, after trying, you realize that this is not something that resonates in you. Don't be afraid to quit. So try. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to quit as well. And then you'll find a way. Yeah.
Do you have
to make it work.
Thank you. Do you have a story of when you face objection or difficulties and then you overcome, like, through your resilience?
I thought of a recent incident. We have a female probiotic product soon, and then everything is in good progress. I thought I would launch in May, but it's not happening because one of the ingredients didn't turn out to be what I really like, or like maybe not the best. So there were a lot of churning inside, but I decided to just stop the production, and then we threw away everything. Yeah, I just want to start again. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I think, like, I'll just be honest, it's not an easy decision to make, right? Like, because there are costs, like business decision, but there are also my personal conviction. There are so many things in play.
Right.
It's not so straightforward, but really after a period of consideration, I decided to let's start again.
Wow.
So that's why there's a delay in the product launch. And I had an event with my important clients, venue booked. It was supposed to be a product launch event. So it's not just the product launch, but there was already an event in place and booked accommodation, flight, and everything for that event. And I decided not to have the product. So it was tough.
Right.
But I did it anyway.
Right.
So I think that's resilience, right?
I mean, I think it speaks also of your high level of your expectation for the product and how much you care about what goes in there.
Yes. And I think it's also because it's a female product for you and I, or like myself, gonna take it every day. And I'd rather start it all over again than to go with something that I'm not exactly happy with. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very powerful story of just that level of quality control that you have that stems from your
That's painful.
Wow. Okay. Well, now I almost feel like, okay, sign me up for the wait list, for their products out or whatever too. And do you have any last words? Anything that you feel like you missed out that you'd like to tell our listeners?
I'm happy to be here, to be sharing my little stories. But I do think that everyone has a different journey. And don't be too harsh on ourselves. Just let it go and, just pace ourselves. Motherhood is already very, very tough. Very, very tough. Yeah. So let's be kinder and to ourselves first, then to one another. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hardest, best thing.
Yes.
So, signature question for you, Cheryl. Can we have it all?
We don't need to have it all. And I'm fine with it as well. Like, that's how I feel. Contentment is key. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And before we wrap up, we'd just like to thank Cheryl for the kind discount that she has offered to listeners. Just use the code MakeItWork10 when you check out for a 10% discount. And definitely check out the products that Cheryl has. Well, my kid is on it because he also has eczema, unfortunately. All right, thank you so much, Cheryl.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Make It Work, where we uncover inspiring stories of modern working mamas in Asia who have redefined their careers whilst putting family first. Please help others discover the show by leaving a review and rating on wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. Meanwhile, here's to you, making it work.